Okay, guys, in this video we'll be talking about flex, CSS flexbox. So, flexbox is just a way to position and align things, right, using CSS. That makes it it's a much easier and better way of aligning things in CSS, right? So, Flex has two major properties. We have the container properties, the flex container properties. We also have the flex item properties. Now I went ahead to do some of this coding here so that we don't need to waste time on this coding this while we are on this video. So if you see here, if you can see this, here we have a flex container. I just called it a container, right? We have a div that I gave a class name of container. This is where the div closed. Now inside this div we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 flex items. We call it items. So this div is the parent element. This parent element has 3 children. So the children are actually those that have the flex item properties. While the parents, this is the parent, which is the container itself, is what carries the flex container properties. So we have different properties that are used for the containers, right? We have the flex direction, we have the flex wrap, we have the flex flow, we have justify content, we have align item, we also have align content. Please, you can go back to your W3 school on flex so that you can read this up. Now the first properties we'll be talking of the flex container property. Please, we have to be very specific here, and you have to understand what I'm doing now. I'm trying to code properties we use for flex container, for the container, that is for the parent div here. In this case, the parent div. Now in this parent div I have different items. This is what it looks like on the live server, right? Now we want to position this div and its children using flex. Now that's just what I want to do. This should be very important. Now there are properties I can use only on this parent, and I cannot use them on these children here. And there are properties I can use on the children, I will not be able to use them for these parents. That's where the flex property comes in, and the flex item properties, flex container properties comes in, and the flex item properties comes in. Now, for you to start coding, I've also made the CSS aspect, I'm sure you all understood how this thing came to pass. This, we added the border, gave it height, this for the parent div here, this for the children div. So this is where we coded, I will give them width of 100 pixels, this is how we have it here. So, for us to start using flex, we have to go to the container and now we want to start aligning these divs we have in our HTML, like in our HTML aspect. Now for us to do that, I want to use the flex property. To use a flex property, the first thing you do is to go to the parent container, that is the container itself, the parent element, which we call the flex container. The parent itself will go there and add display. Display will say flex. Now watch what will happen automatically. You see, these items here automatically went side by side each other. Before now, okay, let me remove that display flex so that we will see it properly. Before now, they were under each other. You see, 1 is at the top, 2 is below 1, and 3 is down 2. So with the flex property, immediately we added the flex property, they went side by side each other. That is the first sign that your flex is actually working on your flex item. Your flex container, the properties you add on your flex container is actually working on your flex item. So this is the first step to consider. So before I start using my flex properties, any flex property I want to use, I have to put display flex first. Now the first property we'll be talking about, the first flex container property we'll be talking about is what we call flex direction. Flex direction. Now we have different values. We have column, we have column reverse, we have rows, we have row reverse. So we are going to talk about them one by one. For now, we have flex direction. The default flex direction is what? Is row. Just the way it went, it's taking the row. Now, row simply means horizontally. Column simply means that row simply means it should align itself horizontally. That is why 1 came, 2 followed it, 3 horizontally. Now, but when we say column, column means it should align itself vertically. So let us see it in action. If I say flex direction, remember this flex direction is a container property, so I can only put it on the container where we have the parent element, right? So flex direction row, so it is normal, nothing is changing here because the default is row. So the next one I will say let us change it to column. Flex direction column. Now let's see what will happen. It is now in its former state. Now it is now going under each other. 1 up, 2 follows 1, 3 down. Is that okay? We also have other properties like column row reverse. Now watch, look at what we have here. Now let us change it to row reverse and see what will happen. Row reverse. Now look, the simple thing that happened here now is that it started from the right hand side and 1, 2, 3 came after each other. 1, 2, 3 like this. So let us also check column reverse. So it started from the bottom and 1 is under followed by 2. So that's just it about flex direction. This is what flex direction does. It tells us what direction do we want our flex to take place. So let me leave it at row or column so that we'll see how it's working. Flex direction column, so that it will just be like this. So the next property we'll talk about is the flex wrap. Remember, we are still dealing with the flex container properties. Now, when we want to use flex wrap, what does flex wrap do? The flex wrap property specifies whether the flex item should wrap or not. If there is not enough room for them on one flex line. So it means that what this is simply saying is that if maybe we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 until this flex item properties are up to this place and we don't have no space for it to continue going down. If you say flex wrap, it means that the next one will go to the next line. It will start showing here. So let us just do it practically instead of talking too much. So just to save time, I just added more divs into this our container so that we will not have to waste time in doing that while we are still on the tutorial. So what we have here now, we have, as you can see now on the live server, we have 15 different div items, right? We have the 15 different div items. Now we want to practicalize wrapping of these 15 items. Let us assume now we want to, and where do we do that? Remember, we are putting these values on the flex container, but it is affecting even the items, right? So let us go ahead and add flex wrap. So if we say wrap, if we say flex wrap, if we say wrap, it means that we want it to wrap. So let us say wrap. Now look at what happened. The last one, since the last one could not enter here directly, it went over to, it shifted the next item to this line. Now, you may be asking, why did it give space here? Why did it give this amount of space here? It is because flex item will automatically align it so that the space between this place, between here and here will be equal. If there are any space we have, flex automatically add the same number of space that we have here to the same number of space. So flexbox actually have a way of aligning things accurately. Do you understand? So that's just it. So when we say wrap, it shifted that 15, the last one, because it could not enter inside this container properly. It shifted that item to another line. Is that okay? So let us also check the property of no wrap and see what happened. So in no wrap, it means that it should not wrap at all. So it should continue doing the way it was before. So we also have wrap reverse. You see, it simply took this, it simply shifted it to the right and brought, it's still wrapping, right? It's still wrapping, so it brought the 15th one to the left. So it's just a reverse of the wrap. That's what we just did here. So with this, I think I'll be stopping this particular video here so that in our next video, we will start talking about some very special container properties that we really need in positioning things in CSS. So that's when we'll talk about the justify content. We'll talk about the align content and so many other things. So in case you have any question in this particular video, feel free to ask.